Have you ever had the experience that you didn't take an opportunity and you missed out on something great? Well, the same is true for me. Today I'm here to explain my two biggest mistakes and what I learned from them. I will share with you my personal story and how committing these two big mistakes crippled my career early on and how avoiding them made a huge impact on both my personal and professional life. This is why I could eventually turn into a digital nomad, travel around, visit nice places. And if you're also an ambitious person who wants to have their own business or become a content creator, then this video is especially fine-tuned for you, as I should have started this channel a long time ago. The only reason I didn't do it was because I thought that the timing wasn't perfect. I had a whole bunch of video ideas, but before recording them, I wanted to complete another big project, so I would have another Bitcoin in my wallet, or just buy the best studio equipment to sound more legit. I had this checklist of things that I wanted to complete in order to achieve the perfect conditions to start. But now in retrospect, this philosophy was a big mistake. And I'm not saying that I did not succeed, because I did succeed. I made insane money. I bought my fancy things and I also got the best microphone. But still, if I look back, it would have been incredibly more fun and valuable to document my progression, how I became a full-time entrepreneur, how I traded crypto, or how I bought multiple apartments. This mistake made me understand that the perfect time to start this YouTube channel would have been months or even years ago, because a lot of my original content ideas already lost their relevance. As I recognized what just happened, I also learned two huge things that I know today, but I didn't know back then. I would call the first and biggest mistake forward anxiety. I experienced this overwhelming fear of the unforeseeable future events since I became an entrepreneur just 1 year before the pandemic. And as I was building my pet accessory business, the lockdowns had a huge impact both on me and my planning. Especially because nobody knew that the pandemic was coming, and for 2 years straight we had absolutely no idea what regulations we have to deal with, as governments changed their policies overnight almost every day for years. At university, I learned very well how to calculate risks during normal times, but during the pandemic, I had to worry about unexpected stuff that I could not even fathom. But I also desperately wanted to succeed with my pet business, and eventually this stress kicked in my forward anxiety, and I felt like I was walking around with an umbrella and waiting for the rain. Successfully going through these 2 years taught me a great lesson, not only about entrepreneurship, but also about life in general. As we will definitely see similar black swan events in the future, sooner or later, but we have absolutely no clue what they will be. My point is that we should not lose sleep over problems we can't even describe. If something wants to hit us, it will hit us anyway. And if we are forward anxious, we will just ruin the time that we could have spent having fun. Among all animals, we humans are the only creatures who can laugh and party knowing that one day we will eventually die. If we can understand what this means, we will also understand why living with forward anxiety is pointless. The same is true in reverse, as we should never grieve past mistakes, since shit has already hit the fan and the opportunity is already gone. Nowadays, fiction might be hard to distinguish from reality, as we spend most of our time clinging to screens, but we should always remember that life is not a video game where we can just reload the previous checkpoint and restart the day if we don't like the way it goes. If we mess up a conversation or crash our car, we must deal with the situation. We can't just roll back the tape or hit a magical keyboard combination to undo what we have done. This also means if we miss out on opportunities, many times we cannot open them up again. If we don't talk to a girl, she will marry the next guy. If we don't take a job, it will get filled by another applicant. And if we don't act on our ideas, someone else will turn them into success, and we will have to live with the reality that we were the first one who had the idea, yet we got nothing out of it. When I realized this an hour ago, I literally borrowed a 10-year-old camera, rushed back to my Airbnb, threw my bag on the table, and started filming this very video. Since the perfect moment is not when I feel ready, the perfect moment is now, when I have my ideas, and have the opportunity to act on them. And I learned very well that if I don't break the ice today, I would look back months later and think that today would have been a much better time to start. There is an old Chinese proverb which goes, "The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now." And I think this quote really sits well with the idea of today's video, because growing a tree is very identical to growing a business. In the beginning, it needs a lot of nurturing and constant investment, but as a sapling turns into a giant tree, it will stay alive on its own and we can enjoy its fruits and the shade it gives us, so the tree will give us a return on our investment the very same way a business or a YouTube channel does. In the future, I'm going to share similar experiences because I already have a business that gives me a stable income and a lifestyle that years ago seemed impossible to achieve. For example, I could become a Cambridge-educated economist with 2 university degrees. If we count my broken Spanish, I can speak 5 languages, and I'm also a world traveler. So, I will be back with a bunch of episodes explaining how I built up this system from zero, as I come from an incredibly poor Eastern European family, and my main topics will be finance, productivity, and entrepreneurship. And to spice things up, I will probably record each of my videos from a different country or city. If you don't want to miss the ride, you should leave a like, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.